This video is definitely a shout out to parents, and it's also just a connection to people in general who are out there teaching in the world and teaching at spiritual events, creating their own events and gathering together in such beautiful ways. Okay, so here's my bone to pick. I get invited to these events almost every week, and I really want to go. I have 4 kids between the ages of 7 and 18. 18-year-old really, unless he knows the person, like unless it's one of our shamans or family friends, he really doesn't want to go. 15-year-old never wants to go. The 7-year-old and the 12-year-old always want to go. So, with that being said, I get invited to events and it's like deep shamanic journeying for heart purging. That's the most recent one. And I'm like, guys, you know I got kids. Today it was, let's do a cacao ceremony, which I've never done, by the way. But even if I did, I got kids, go do cacao or ayahuasca with my kids. I get invited to ayahuasca at least once every 2 weeks by someone to go to Peru and do ayahuasca. I don't feel the calling. Ayahuasca has to be a very individual, personal calling. But the reason why I'm telling you all these things is because I'm just wondering if other parents are out there really perceiving this, that something needs to be arranged about those of us that have children as our top priority in our lives. You know, children are the epitome of innocence and grace and spirituality. And when I have events, which I've had, and people ask me about their kids, they're like, well, I have a newborn, I'm breastfeeding. I'm like, bring her and let her cry. And if she cries, we will open our hearts and determine that she is a reflection that perhaps we need to cry along. And when she giggles and laughs, perhaps that's a reflection that the rest of us need to loosen up and be more joyful. I wish that children just led spiritual events. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be just full of splendor? So this is also a shout out for people who don't have kids and who are having events. You don't need a babysitter. Let the kids teach you. Let the kids teach us. At my events, kids are wandering around, walking around, teaching adults, doing things, interrupting in order to bring us back to ourselves. And is that really an interruption to begin with? So there's so much that I have to say about this, but I just wanted to make it short and sweet before I get started on working with you for the day and sitting with my sessions. And finally I just said, I wonder why this is in society that we have spiritual events, but kids are the most spiritual beings in bodies on this planet and they are not invited. Who's with me? What do you want to do about it? Do you want to change your events? Do you want to change your lives? Do you want to be inclusive with your children? I do. Be blessed.